Today's topic, Cyberpunk 2077, what the fuck went wrong? What is happening and where is it going? Let's talk about Cyberpunk. Here's what I want to say. So, the reason I want to talk about this today is because there's been a lot of big business news about CDPR. You may have seen the news, or if you're like most people, you've consumed all your Cyberpunk news in formats like this. Giant yellow squares with small black text on them. Now, normally this would mean delays, but instead they dropped one to say, "Dear gamers, first of all, we want to apologize to you for not showing the game on base last-gen consoles before it premiered and not allowing you to make a more informed decisions about your purchase." And I want to dive into that real quick, you know? I want to dive into that because now they're offering refunds for the PS4. Why offer a refund for the PS4? We've talked about overhyped games in the past. Is Cyberpunk the most overhyped game of all time? And I think when you promise somebody this and you give them this, there has to be a reckoning. There is a problem. That is how you get this. The PS4 review score. This is a 9 out of 10 on PC. It's doing quite well on PC. I like the game. Let me open up with that actually, because I think it'll make what I'm saying sound more authentic. The truth is, I've been playing this game on and off stream. I like it. This game is exactly what I was looking forward to. It's what I wanted. But no one can argue that this has been handled well from a business perspective. Nobody. Basically, the overall console versions of this game, they're extremely buggy. They run at very low frame rates. They're almost impossible to complete at some points with the story. A lot of games have been review bombed in the past and made money. What does it actually mean? So not only do you get review scores like that, but you get this. And this is the most important of all. This is the real problem. CD Projekt Red has shed over 30% of their value as a company. It's billions of dollars. This has larger implications than just one game being a little bit buggy. There's a lot of reasons that go into this, but the first one I'm talking about is, first of all, refunds. So people say, okay, the game is meant to be on PC. Who the fuck cares that they're refunding PS4 and Xbox versions? Well, when I took a look at the sales figures, so I look at those and I found out that 60% of sales in the UK were on PS4. And it was a record-breaking launch. So it sold a ton, and 60% of those people bought them on PS4. People, I've seen a lot of takes that are like, nobody bought it on console anyway. Who the fuck cares? A lot of people bought it on console. And a lot of people were hyped for this game to be good on console. If you play Ghost of Tsushima or you play Last of Us 2, you expect that you can get good graphics and a good game on a console. And when you buy into the hype over 8 years and you buy a game that is unplayably bad, you are gonna be furious. And for a company like EA, they're giving you this look, okay? This is what EA say. And you know what? It is CDPR's first time. They're not used to this. The problem for Cyberpunk is not sales damage currently. It's still projected to sell over 20 million copies. This game did not sell poorly. This game sold amazingly. So why is the stock plummeting? That's what I want to get into. CD Projekt Red has made a lot of games in the past, okay? This is not their first rodeo with Cyberpunk. They've made the one you all know and love, The Witcher 3. This is the game that really got them their claim to fame. But they've made a lot more than that, okay? They also made The Witcher 2, The Witcher 1, okay? A good trilogy. They also made The Witcher Adventure board game and The Witcher DLC and The Witcher Battle Arena is another game they've made. The Witcher Battle Arena is a great game. They also made Gwent, based on a card game from The Witcher. They also made Thronebreaker, The Witcher Tales, and another expansion for The Witcher 3. And I think that about covers everything they've made up to Cyberpunk. I don't know if you're seeing a pattern, but this has become one of the most valuable game companies on planet Earth. One of the most respected game companies on planet Earth. All off of one franchise. This is the only thing they've made. Let me just show you. This is it. This is every game they've made 2007 to 2019. I remember, if you guys know, Hotshot GG, he's got a mansion in fucking LA. Big pool in the back, all these rooms. And I was looking around his mansion and I was like, dude, your place is fucking amazing. This is crazy. You sold CLG, you're living in this house that you own. He bought it over the CEO of Spotify. Literally, it was him and the CEO of Spotify in a bidding war for the house, and he bought it. Okay? And he's living large. And he's like, dude, I would literally give all this up and live in a shack in Poland if I could work at CDPR and learn how they do it. And that stuck with me. I was like, holy shit, what a reputation they have. This was my brilliant summary. Look at this. Why is Cyberpunk dead on arrival? Wow. Look at that. That's called production value. It's not just the value of the money they're going to make off Cyberpunk. It's the value of their future profits from their reputation. CDPR had a sterling, untouched reputation that allowed them to turn a game where they hadn't revealed very much into the biggest launch of all time. Let's say they offer a new game. Let's say their next game comes out. The chances of people falling for the same hype are much smaller. And after months of crunch, all of their actions leading up to the launch, instead of seeming mysterious or being explainable away, all seem more negative in hindsight. Cyberpunk 2077 runs surprisingly well on current gen consoles. This is 19 days ago. No, it doesn't, dude. It doesn't. The other thing they did was they didn't allow reviewers to use footage from consoles in their reviews. They literally blocked it. You were only allowed to use trailer footage. You couldn't record your own footage, which means, of course, there was no footage of the massive amount of bugs. Let me say one more thing. Not to put too much of my own self into this, but I have worked on a project, marketing related, with CDPR people, and they were top class. I work with a lot of marketing people, and a lot of them they have no risk appetite. They can't think of cool ideas. They don't know what their fans want to hear. They're bad. These guys were great. They were fantastic. They are very good at marketing. And if the product had matched up, it would be a win-win. You can't blame the marketing guys for doing their best job. What they've realized very quickly is that reputation is fucking everything. Your brand is fucking everything. Losing your brand means you're a dime a dozen developer. There's a lot of developers out there, and the only way you get that excess value that makes them one of the most valuable companies in the world is the brand. This is a great quote that I really respected. The cost of fixing Cyberpunk 2077 is irrelevant compared to restoring the company reputation. And I like this a lot. So they're doing refunds. They're doing massive bug fixes, which probably means more crunch. I feel bad for the developers, dude. They have to do insanely quick bug fixes to help turn this around. They're gonna pull a No Man's Sky. There is no chance they just leave this game buggy like EA would. Cyberpunk will be fixed. I guarantee it. They'll do everything they can to chug away this game till it's fixed. I mean, it's gonna be well after launch, which kind of sucks. This is what I'm worried about. What do you see here? This is Fall Guys' Steam chart. No one's playing now. This is essentially 0. This is at the bottom. Season 1, Season 2, Season 3. Okay? Because in today's modern games climate, unless your game is a infinitely generating UGC multiplayer game, it has a very limited life cycle. But you look at a game like Red Dead Redemption 2 or Watch Dogs or Assassin's Creed, they all have instant fall-offs, dude. They have a launch week and then they go. So most games have to get a large bulk of their sales and a large bulk of their interest and fan excitement in the first week. And they've blown their first week. Cyberpunk has out and out blown their first week. They're gonna be doing GTA style multiplayer in some way. It's the way to sustain. But because of the bugs, because of the launch, because of the blowback, all of their developer resources have now shifted from multiplayer to bug fixing. They're not doing this, they're doing this. So the developers are going to be working triple time just to get this part back to working. meaning this will be even farther out. And so I'm very worried that Cyberpunk's hype is already, after 8 years of hype, beginning to die down. The overall takeaway narrative is like the game was buggy, and even if it gets fixed and they add multiplayer, it's going to be so difficult to get back to where they could have been. So they have to do two big things quickly after years of crunch, and I'm not sure they can execute it. It's going to be the toughest time in the company's history. Should I buy their stock? That's a great question. So that is actually a good sort of wrap-up question, is should you buy CDPR stock right now? My guess, it depends on how much you believe in the company, but I wouldn't until they've proven they can solve these problems without killing their developers. A few episodes ago, we made a list of the most overhyped games of all time. And I said, we'll see after launch where Cyberpunk lands. I think it's fair to say, after all of this, Cyberpunk 2077, a game that I really like, that would probably give an 8 out of 10 so far, is #1 most overhyped game of all time. I think that's fair to say. Now, I took No Man's Sky down because it got fixed. If this game gets fixed, I'll take it down. But right now, at launch, based on what they said for 8 years and what we got, especially console players, it's the most overhyped game of all time. And I think the smartest thing to do, from my POV, would have been to release the PC version now, because you get best bug feedback from people actually testing it. So I think they should release the PC version now and said console version coming in, I don't know, February, March, right? PS4 guys will be mad it doesn't come out, but they'll be fine because when they get it, when they go to Best Buy and they buy the physical copy and they put it in their disc at home, it works and it is not a miserable 18 FPS experience. If they say your game's great but I can't play it, that's one thing. But I mean, but it's not out. But if they say, I bought your game and you ripped me off, you committed fraud on me, I hate you, I'll never trust you again, that's an entirely different thing, okay? One of them is easy to bounce back from, the other one isn't. That's the marketing Monday. CDPR, Godspeed, dude. And I pray, can we all have a moment of silence for the CDPR programmers who are on their 50th cup of coffee, working bleary-eyed, looking at the same monitor.
Little do you know how I'm breaking while you underneath it all. I'm held captive by the hole inside. Is so hard to fight. Little do you know I need a little more time.
Need a little more time. That's poignant. That's poignant and wise. All they need is, oh my God, she pulled vodka out of her ass. How much more time do you need? She drinks it. Put it back in there. And that's some guy's job right now. He has to fix the vodka ass bug. I pray for that guy. Damn it, man. I just bought this game on PC today. I want you to know that I like this game. If you bought it on PC, you're already way better off than console. And second of all, there's a lot to like. I didn't get into it today because it's more of a business talk. Marketing Monday is about like what this means for the brand, for the reputation, for the stock. From a gamer perspective, as a pure fucking Deus Ex gamer, I love this game. There's a lot to like. The stories are really fun. The side quests are dope. Driving around the city is beautiful. RTX on, I love it. But I'm not gonna not be honest and say this was a good launch. This is a really bad launch. And you really rarely get a brand as sterling as what they had. And so to tarnish it sucks. It's so hard to get that back. A brand that good is worth so much.
Check it.